Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat. My name is Mitch Pattinson, and as always, we are joined by Ethan Daffy, and tonight we are doing our round 13 preview. It is Carlton v Essendon at the MCG, Sunday the 8th of June, 7:20 on King's birthday eve. So, Duffy boy, it's been probably about a week since we've done an episode. We're recording this on the Tuesday. We'll upload this tomorrow night, 6 p.m. on Wednesday. But it's been probably a very good week.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I very much needed it. Like heading into work and not having to worry about if Carlton will get the job done and receiving shit from my mates at work was great. So that was probably one of the best feelings, but the feeling will be back this week again when we both will be heading into this game. And as we've said a few times before the episode started, we are very lucky that we have quite a favourable fixture, but it's now down to us if we can actually make the most out of it and really make something out of this season of 2025. But Duffy boy, first things first, mate, how are you?
No, I'm good. It was a good kind of overall wrap of the bye. It's the first time I reckon I've ever had a bye, probably other than maybe 23, where I've not wanted Carlton to play on the weekend. I was quite happy. You know when you're younger and you go, oh no, the bye, it's so long. You go, it's so long till we play. And it's a long break. It's still, 5 odd days. So, I was, like you said, it was a very just nice week. Obviously still watching footy, but not having to worry, probably still getting a little bit agitated based on other teams' terrible performances, especially teams who we somehow lost to in terms of Sydney. The Sydney one was the one that caught my eye.
God, it's so bad.
It was in Sydney. It just showed, it showed obviously Adelaide where they're at, but also come on. I've said it 1,000 times. I flew to Sydney to watch that. Watch us lose to probably, let's be real, the worst Swans team in the last decade. And people can say all their outs, they're terrible. They are terrible. And I heard it, some conversations and, people go, oh, but, they're good now, blah, blah, blah. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on now. I think, and we've had that before. Even back end of last year, we thought, okay, back end of last year, our injuries were ridiculous last year, right? We were down and out. Every person was getting injured. Jack Martin ran into Fogarty and broke his shoulder, doing his hammy at the same time. That was that, and we're okay. We're okay. We're like, all right, we're not happy with it, but it's like, what can you do? What can you do? And then now, you're looking at it going, well, was it the injuries? Or are we just not good enough? And at the moment, we aren't good enough. But looking ahead, Patto, the post-bye game against Essendon seems to be a yearly tradition of bum clenching. It's we look at the game and you go, we should win. But then we've looked at so many games this season going, we should win this game. And I'm going to say it, we should win this game again. I'm not going to drop that. I'm not going to let them get away with dropping expectations. We can't let them get away with it. So the expectation for me is win this game. No, honourable loss, 4 quarters battle. Let's be real, they're undermanned. And even with their men, we should be beating them. So they've had key outs, massive outs. And if we do not win this game, all hell is going to break loose, Patto. Seriously, it was like 23 when we lost to them. Like that game. And obviously we ended up winning so many games after that, but I don't think we can do it again. I don't think we can lose to them again and get away with it and just somehow pull out 10 wins in a row. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, and I think the competition is a lot tighter now when you pretty much can't have an off game against any opposition. You can see now, like we all thought Richmond wouldn't win a game, and they've been competitive almost every game this season. And even West Coast now looking a little bit better. North Melbourne are looking better as well. So there's really a lot of teams now that making this competition so tight. And like 2023, the Saints made finals. So
Yeah, yeah,
you can kind of look at it from that point of view, and
yeah.
you're not too sure how. I
Mm.
don't think a team will ever really do that again. From that stage of the season and
Yeah,
have
it's
that,
tough.
it's very tough now. With the changes to the list, and I just think everything is so much tighter now and so much more competitive, which I think is great from a audience point of view because every single
Mm.
game is going to be competitive. But there obviously will be a few games that won't be as competitive, Daft Boy, and hopefully that will be Sunday
Yes.
this this Sunday at King's birthday, but King's birthday eve.
Yep.
But Daft Boy, before we do move on to anything to do with this game, the last time we've done an episode was last week, obviously, and that was just before our bye, and we obviously haven't touched on the mid-season draft. So
Yes. Yes.
we have obviously drafted Flynn Young from Werribee to the Carlton Football Club in the mid-season draft. He is a half-forward winger, and I don't know about you, Daffy Boy, but he very much looks a good. So just
Mm.
before we do move on to the injury list, just a quick word on Flynn Young, and he very much looks the goods at the moment.
Yeah, love it. His form this year has been fantastic. Obviously, that footy factory down there at Werribee has been phenomenal. They won the flag last year. Whenever I tune into a VFL game and they're
Yeah,
playing, it's very entertaining. I love the
yes,
way they play. They're well coached, clearly development wise. But the one thing that stood out to me with him, 2023, he played 2 games for Werribee.
I know.
Played 2 games for Werribee. You know what I love about that? He hasn't had it easy. He hasn't had it easy. He's developed, he's worked at his game. He knows that every time now he plays for whether it's Carlton VFL or he's training or if he gets a look at it in the near future, which I think he will. I'm not sure it'll be this week, but I don't think it's a 0% chance this week. But I think, in the near future for sure. But what I love, it's like the Will White story.
Mm,
I'm not here to, have all the good lovey-dovey stories, but he's been tearing it up in the twos. He's been playing better than any of our small forwards or forwards in the twos, in his position. Um, so I'm really, really keen to see what he does. And I think it puts pressure on our smalls. And I know everyone's going like, how many smalls are we to draft? Well, we haven't nailed them.
mm.
So what are you just going to stop picking up smalls? Like you have to, you're going to have to keep throwing darts, Patto, until one finally hits the bullseye. I like to say, like we don't have a small forward that's really nailing it at the moment. And it's not hard. It's a bit harsh, but that's the reality. And if he's the right guy, then he'll be getting games of football, Pato, ahead of these other guys. So,
Mm.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. He's left footer, good ball user. With Potters out of the side, it provides an opportunity for him to play a little bit higher up the ground too. Young, which I like. And that's what I like with a half forward that can use the footy and he can kick goals. All our smalls just haven't been goal focused at the moment. And I know every small forward would love to, but they're just not. And I looked at his good performances over the stats of his best matches. They're all 2-3 goal games, and he's having 20 and kicking 2-3, like 2 to 3 goals. Like that's where I'm going. Okay. I know it's two's footy, but if he can implement that out in there, that's when we'll be going licking our lips, going, okay, we've finally found the one. And I think we've nailed the last few. I think with Lord,
Yeah,
Boyd as
40.
well.
Hmm.
Boyd's played a lot of games out of a guy who was playing twos footy. So, and I think Lord's, even last week's game, it kind of just hit me in the face going, oh, this
Mm.
guy's got something about him. This guy's got something about him. And I know we've had a lot of false dawns with certain players, but like you said, they haven't had it easy. They've almost had to kind of rejuvenate their careers from a lower level. I don't know, VFL is the next level from the AFL, but isn't, like there was only 20 guys picked in the mid-season draft.
Exactly
There's a lot
right.
of guys missing out. I know Werribee's captain, Dom Brew, who's their best player,
Yep.
hasn't been picked up yet. And he trained with the Dogs over the off-season, and he's a gun, and he hasn't got picked
Mm.
up. So clearly, they've obviously seen something with Young and seen a development side of things because he's I think, what is he, 23? He's a bit older than, our other small forwards in Durden and Motlop. So it's going to be intriguing, and it's good we touched on it because I think he's going to play very soon. That's my thinking.
Yeah. No, spot on, Daffy boy. And yeah, I guess now we'll kind of move on to a bit of the injury list from I guess the last update through the bye heading into round 13. And as we've mentioned already, Matt Cottrell has had a bit of a setback, so he was probably looking to be probably 1 to 2 weeks away. And now he's had that setback, so his availability is TBC. So we will know more over the next few weeks about his injury and just that foot injury. It's really,
Yeah.
really getting to him, isn't he? So, isn't it? So that's a bit of a worry. Jack Silvani, groin soreness. He is a test to play this week, so he should well and truly be back for Sunday. And as you said, it's good that they have a bit like of an extended break now because we don't play till Sunday. So a lot of these guys who are kind of a test, even if they're kind of 50-50, I think they well and truly should be able to play because we are playing so late in the week. But Zach Williams as well, returning from a calf injury. He is a test as well, so he should well and truly be available for selection. My opinion is if we had a game last week, he probably would have played.
Yeah.
And I know that even against the Giants, he probably would have played as well.
Yeah,
but
close, yeah.
it was kind of just because knowing Zach Williams and his injury history of soft tissue injuries, I think it was probably a good way to kind of get him through to the bye, manage him, and then as soon as round 13 comes against the Dons, bring him back in front of about 85,000 at the MCG, Duff Boy. And the last person that we'll touch on is Lockie Cowan. He is returning from a hamstring injury, but he's still not available to about round 14. So he should be 1 to 2 weeks away. But even with him, he's had a few hamstring injuries as well. So that might be a worry. But let's just hope he probably can come back through the VFL and kind of get some, I guess, games into him and maybe bring him back in for the second half of the season. But let's now move on, Daffy Boy, to the ins and outs. And we've probably spoken a bit beforehand about the ins and outs. And I know that we both don't share our ins and outs and the sub. We always want to go into this completely raw, not knowing what each other are picking. But we did speak a bit prior to the episode about there are a lot of players now who probably well and truly should be dropped, but it's whether we have a like for like or a player that can come in and actually play a role this Sunday night, definitely. But I'll throw straight to you, your ins and outs and the sub included. What have you got?
Yeah, so this changed a little bit over the last probably half an hour in terms of the injury update coming out. So I had a feeling, well, there was a very positive look on Cottrell returning at some stage, so I had him in. So obviously he's not playing, and I think he will miss the remainder of the year. That's just my thinking. I think if he has to have surgery, I think it'll be tough for him to come back. And then when you think about it, do you want him to get him right for next season? I don't want to talk about next season, but you don't want to hurt a bloke and force him to play and then he misses pre-seasons. We know how that works when blokes have interrupted pre-seasons. It doesn't go down well at the Carlton Football Club, Patto. But my outs, this one's stiff. I've got two probably stiff ones. Lewis Young will be omitted out of the team. I think we need to cut the shit. We're not getting anywhere with playing the three talls.
Exactly right. Yep.
If we're going into games trying to minimise the impact of a key defender, we're going into the game to lose the game. We did it last week. It didn't help. Sam Taylor took 1,000 marks. Jack Buckley, you know what I mean? Like, if we're going to do it, do it. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So he'll be dropped out of the side. Jesse Modlop, I feel like he's been on our omissions for the last 5 weeks. Nothing wrong personally with the kid. We spoke about it yesterday. He will be fine. He will be fine. But I think we are doing him a disservice by playing him.
100%.
By playing him. And I know they're probably thinking he's due for that game because we know what he can do at his best. But in my opinion, we haven't seen that best for 2 years. Since the 2023 final series, probably. And 2023 back end, where he kicked 4 against Port, kicked a couple in that semi-final. That was him at his best. And if we're going to play him, which I'm sure you're not playing him, and you've dropped him, do not play him in the middle. Keep him down there. That's his role.
Hmm.
That's his role. Don't hurt him. He's actually to get less touches by playing in the middle because it's not his natural position. It's not his natural position. Do not play him in there. So keep him forward, keep him dangerous. We want to be dangerous in there. So he's not playing in my selections. And the last one, nothing to do with his performance against the Giants. I thought his debut was phenomenal. I thought he was fantastic. And he was actually one of our best players, especially in our defence. I thought we were absolutely woeful in our defence. And he saved that. I thought him and Haynes were our best in defence
Yes.
last week.
Yep.
I thought he saved a few goals as well. And it's Harry O'Farrell just because of my ins. Just the whole, we can't have him in. I think we'd be too tall with the ins. If Silvani wasn't coming in, he would have stayed in, O'Farrell, but fortunately he will be dropped. My ins, Jack Silvani is in the team. I'm looking forward to that. Not sure who he takes. Does he take Caddy? Does he take Peter Wright? Probably a weedering job, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's a weedering job, Patto. We have a bit of PTSD with Peter Wright from that 2023 game when we were both there, and
Yeah.
it was his return game, and he kicked 6 goals. So I don't think he's
Was it 6? He
yeah
kicked
5 or
6.
6. It was bad. It was real bad. But yep, Silvani in for me. Alex Chincotta is in the
Mm.
team for me. He is disciplined. I know we're looking back to 23. I hate looking back because I want to look forward. It's a whole different team, but he is disciplined. Whatever role he will play to his best of his ability. He is not a superstar. He is not Patrick Cripps. He is not Sam Walsh. He is Alex Chincotta, and that's what I expect. He's intent. I want to see 5+ tackles. I want to see him hard at the footy. And also, he's a guy who can chuck through the middle, whether it's a tagging or not a tagging role.
100%. He's been playing
He can.
he's been playing through the middle in the VFL.
So if we're gonna play a guy like Motlop, which we're both not playing in, but if he does play,
Yeah.
I want Chincotta getting those minutes,
Like
playing in the middle. So he is in for me, and my last in is Zach Williams. I'm opting for a bit of a smaller forward line, but it's not a small forward line. We've got Harry and Charlie. If that's considered small, like you see other teams who have whether they've got one key forward or none, and they're playing with those types of players. So it's a big week for those two. I think they've they've dismissed the whole chatter about how they're going to get traded out.
oh,
I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's we're going to talk about it. But I look back at now in 2016, Pato. Are we really going to wait all those years and watch them play and dominate and develop for us just to trade them out for picks? Is that really where we want to be at? Like, is that real? Like, you might trade them out, but are you guaranteed superstars? No. And the way we draft, no. So Williams in for me, and my sub is Jackson Bin. Sorry for going on a tangent about the trading, but like I just look at it now and I go, it's hard to find players like those two. And I know we have to free the cap, and I know we have to do that, but I think we've got to find another alternative way now. That's my thinking. That's my thinking with those two. I think you have to keep them. I think the quality of them, you know what I mean? It's just more like you're not guaranteed a star.
mm.
And I know we're trying to get more B graders in, but letting go of those guys who you've developed and seen come through the whole time, are we really willing to do that? And I reckon the supporter base would be absolutely livid if those guys are traded, and Walsh included. And I know there's going to be tough decisions to be made. I'm sorry for interrupting your selection, but like you got to look at it both ways. I know we can't be nice all the time, but these players don't come around often, and we know that. From 2002 to about 2014, we didn't have many superstars, and they didn't come around often. And we've got these guys at our disposal. Do we want to let them go? I don't think we should, but it's out of our hands, isn't it, Pato? Off to you for the selection.
Yeah, no, well, I think it's personally not even down to like the players that are potentially leaving as well. Like I think Sam Walsh might want to stay, but
Yeah.
I personally think it's down to Graham Wright. I think Wright coming in,
Yeah.
he's not. He's gonna find a way
Yeah.
to make some pretty tough decisions. But my opinion is, I think whatever he makes,
We've just got to back it in.
I just have to back it in.
It's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
And it's not guaranteed he's going to make those decisions.
No,
It's not guaranteed at all.
Of course not.
Yeah, just the way I look at it, I think the only guy that will leave the club if they leave is TDK. That's my thinking at the moment in terms of the big fish. Like, I know Walsh looks like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders at the moment when he plays. He looks like he's weighed down, doesn't he? He looks like he's lost that. But we know he'll be right. He will be right. He'll come out of this. I know he will. So and we can, we both make snap decisions. We both go, oh, no, he's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. That's a supporter. That's what we do. That's what we're here for. But when I look at it from just a holistic point of view, I think you lose those stars, and I think you lose a little bit of credibility as a team. Oh, I think you lose a bit of credibility as a team, and you lose a bit. I know we don't have the fear factor, but I still feel like when teams come up against us, they go, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? Like, oh, if we let Curnow off the leash, you know what I mean? Like, it's tough decisions, and I think it's going to be a better look at it at the end of the season. I think it depends how we go at the back end.
Yeah. And that's exactly how I see it, where I don't think there will be any, I don't think there should be any more chat about it until
just let it go.
But if we go 2 out of 4 the next 4 weeks, maybe there has to be a bit of chit chat about it. So I just personally think these guys should be focusing on their football.
Yes.
They should be focusing about
and I'm sure they are.
Yeah. That's how I see it with TDK. Like, he's always said it's down to his management. And I know that I know a lot of people would view that and be like, oh, yeah, he's just trying to move on from the question. But I actually think it's down to the management.
Like, it's real. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like, TDK, he doesn't have the time to be on calls all day or night. But he's speaking to Ross Lyon about it.
But legit, though, like Curnow said it in his presser. So if anyone's watching now, 100% watch it. They asked him about the whole trade thing. He hadn't heard of it. 100% Charlie wouldn't tune into that shit because he's a very different operator, Charlie. We know he is, and that's why we love him. But
yeah.
And they'll go and they ask something about it, and he goes, well, you're going to have to ask Graham Wright. That's not my job. He goes, that's out of my pay grade. So, and like you said, it's exactly what you said, though. They're not focusing on that. They know they're not playing well enough. It's nothing to do with the rumours. Nothing. It's nothing. They're just not playing well enough.
Yeah.
And they know it. And in that presser, I was very positive with they know what they need to fix. And I know it's been clear for probably 4 years, that issue, but at least they're trying to do it. At least they're trying. Sorry, Patto.
No, that's all right. That's one thing as well about Charlie that I've seen a lot, and it really makes me happy. His leadership has grown immensely.
I'm liking it, yeah.
Yeah, it really has. Like, I mean, even when he was drafted, people were questioning about, the whole drink driving issue.
Yeah, I have a thing about that. I have a conspiracy theory about that, by the way. So what happened was, I reckon he was going to be a top 5 pick. This is Daf's conspiracy theories. Maybe we do this every week as a segment. I actually think that he may have done it on purpose to slide down the draft to play with his brother. That's just my thinking. How does he slip to 12? That is just ridiculous. Just think about that. I'm not into my conspiracy theories or whatever, but I was speaking about it with my old man a few weeks ago, and I was going, we're looking at the drafts, like because he's a Melbourne supporter, they picked Wiedemann over Mackay and Curnow, and that's another conversation for another day. But I was going, well, he was going, how did he slide to 12? And then I went, oh, the drink driving, and then he was going, that is
weird.
That's weird. The week before the draft.
Yeah, that's weird.
But anyway, well, maybe we do a conspiracy theory episode, Patto. That's how bad our season's going. Yeah. We don't talk about wins. We'll talk about fake conspiracy theories.
Well, we might need to think of more buddy content, mate, the next few weeks if we start fucking losing. Well, if we continue to
Start losing.
not start losing, fucking continue to lose, mate. God, are we bloody premiership
Oh,
favourites or something, mate? But yeah, I completely agree with your ins and outs, but I have made a slight change to what you
yep,
said. So I've got, I've pretty much got four.
yep,
I've got
yep,
four outs, three ins, and one, and I'm bringing a new player in as a sub. So, to start off, ins, I'm going with Zachary Williams is
yep.
coming into the side. I think he needs to come in. Question is, do you think he definitely plays in the forward line?
Yes, because I think we need a bit of goal scoring power at the moment. Just someone else who can get a couple goals. And must say, he did play a pretty good game against him last year. So
Yeah, he did, didn't
I,
he?
I do like the idea of defence, but I think right now, I think we're set down there. And they were disappointing last week. We know that. But I
Yeah.
think for the majority of the season, I've liked it. I've liked it. I've liked the way
Mm.
they've done it. So I just think we're lacking that small forward to kick our goals. Like Charlie and Harry will kick 3, 4, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
But it's more about where are we getting that extra three. We're getting Williams to kick a couple out of his ass like he usually does. You know what I mean? Like those snaps he kicks out of nowhere. We need someone like that at the moment. So, and especially with Motlop dropped, I think we need someone there just to fill the void.
There's no way Motlop plays. Like,
Yeah,
surely.
it's if he does, I would love to know the reasoning. That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Why are they playing him? That's I don't know why at this point, but
I
and
said,
it's not personally against him. Do
not at
him
all.
a favor. Do him a
Yeah.
favor and play him in the twos. Doesn't have to be a month. Just go week by week with him. See how he goes in the twos. Get his hands on the ball.
Yeah. Yep. We were
But
saying the
yeah,
exact same thing about Doherty a few weeks ago when he was dropped. Like, you're doing him a favor. Like, you really think he wants to go out in front of 85 to 90,000 at the G against the arch rivals? You really think he wants to go out there and get another three disposal game with zero impact on the scoreboard? No. Of course he doesn't want to do that. Like
no.
Sam Doherty, like he would have
Yeah.
hated doing that a few weeks ago, and he probably would have spoken about to
He
the coaching staff saying,
he made the decision. Yeah, he
"Brilliant,
said he spoke to the coaches. I don't know I think it was an interview post game from the Giants game. They must have asked him about it or whatever. Yeah, he said it was his and the coach's decision. It wasn't the full coaches, and
brilliant."
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think I'm not saying everyone should put a hand up to be dropped, but in those situations, he knew he wasn't playing well enough, and his standards are higher. He
Mm.
knows he's better. And what are we seeing now, Patto? Best on ground performance, his best game rating wise in 9 years.
Yeah, see,
Let
that's
that sink in.
nuts.
So, we get him to the side now. He's another weapon.
Yeah. Do you think he plays wing still?
Yeah, I think he rolls around a little bit on the weekend. I think the good thing about him is he can kind of like you can play him that high half forward. You can roll him in defence if you have to. That's how you can kind of be a little bit unpredictable. I think we've been, even though I've liked how our defence is set and I like being predictable in that sense, I feel like we've been too predictable ahead of the ball. Like if you keep playing guys like Motlop, the same result's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like you're literally doing the same thing. You would be silly. They always say in sport, if you keep doing the same thing and expecting the same result, you are stupid.
Yeah.
and that's the whole game plan as well. If we keep going to the same way, and I back Vossi if he commits to whatever he does, but if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, Pato, in life, and you expect a different result, you're an idiot.
Yeah. I just think that that's also great leadership as well. Like, I think a small thing about like even a few years ago when Cripple was playing sore, and of course it's great to have your captain say, "No, I am good to go. I need to go out there and lead this team."
Mm.
But Doherty was always on the fringe heading into this season. So I
Yeah.
think it's great that he's actually stepped up and said, look, I know that I'm better. So
Mm.
I want to spend a few weeks in the VFL. And if I don't get picked, I don't get picked. Like, it's great leadership because he is accepting that there are guys now that are better than him and
Mm.
should be in the side. But now it's like, if he comes out and plays like that, he's staying in the side
Yeah,
100%.
of course.
And I personally think he played the exact role I want him to play. I know that I wanted him a little bit behind the ball, but I don't
Yeah.
think we need him now behind the ball because we just need him
No.
on the wing and forward. Like if he
Mm.
impacts in the forward line as well, that's
Mm.
fantastic. So I'll go back to my ins and outs Stafford boy, but yeah, so Zach Williams definitely
Yep.
comes in for mine. Jack Silvani is the exact same. I think
Yep.
he's the must
Perfect.
in for the ins. And my last in, Orazio
Oh
Fantasia.
shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Orazio
Yeah.
Fantasia is
Love it.
in.
Love it.
And
Yeah.
I'm looking at as the the side we have, the best 23. That is the exact structure I want. I want
Yeah.
the Weeders, Haynes, Gov, and Silvani as the tools because Gov can play as that
Yeah.
smaller
Yeah.
defender
And
anyway.
Haynes as well.
And Haynes as
Haynes.
well,
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
right. And I want Gov to have the balls. I want Gov to have the ball in his hands more. So
Mm.
I think with Silvani coming back in, it kind of frees up McGovern a little bit more. So yeah, so that structure in the back line, awesome. Wing, I mean, like the midfield with Walshy and Akers on the wing. Doherty as well. Those are the
Yep.
three wingers that I want, and obviously Ollie and Sardi will be the interceptors
Yeah.
in the back line, and I think it frees up Sard as well with
Yes.
Savani coming in. I think
Yes.
it's great, and then also in the forward line like Kerno, Fogarty, and I'm going a little bit smaller in
Yeah.
the forward
Yeah.
line. So yeah, so Ariza Fantasia is pretty much in for
Yeah. I
Jesse
forgot it.
Motlop.
I have completely forgot about him.
Mm.
That
And
is,
yeah,
that's.
because so
I
he
look at.
didn't play the last VFL game, but he's not on the
No.
injury list. I checked. Because I'm like, that's a bit interesting
Yeah.
that because he
But yeah.
definitely did
Apparently
not.
he's right. He's all good. So.
Yeah, 100%.
When I look at it now, I go, do I make that change?
I'll leave it to you. Actually,
Oh no, I'll let
have
you
a
go.
think. Have a
I'll
think.
let you go. Yep.
Have
I
a
want to see.
think.
I want to see who you drop
Yeah.
for him. That's my thinking.
Outs.
Yep.
Jesse Motlop.
Yep.
So that's a straight swap. Ariza Fantasia in for Motlop.
Easy done. Yep.
Hoff. Harry O'Farrell.
Yep.
Out. That's Jack Silvani. Straight swap.
Yep.
Lewis
Easy.
Young. I'm over
Yep.
the three tools. Zach
Yes.
Williams can play.
Yep.
He can play deep.
Yeah. Yes.
Charlie
Yes.
and Harry go up, and then if Harry's in the
Easy
ruck,
done.
Harry's in the ruck as that second ruck. I don't want Lewis Young in to just play as a second ruck.
Yeah. No.
Like no one, like it doesn't work
Just
anymore.
play Harry in there. Just play Harry in there. Yep.
And he's great in the ruck.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why they.
He's great in the ruck.
No.
So that means that it gives us a smaller look. And I think our small ball forward line is what we like. That's how I want us to play in the forward line. I want us to be pressure at all times. So, so Lewis Young out. Last omission, Jackson Binns.
Yep. Okay.
So I'm only looking at it as I know that we don't have genuine wingers. I know that we obviously have Blake Acres, but like other than that, there's no genuine wingers. And I really do like Jackson Binns playing on the wing because he does keep that width exactly the same as Acres. But I just think we just need to keep Binns out for a few more weeks until Cottrell is right. Because fortunately, I just don't, and no disrespect on Binns, but he needs to spend more time in the VFL. And I know he spent enough time, but there's just something about Binns playing. I just am not. I really noticed it against the Giants game.
Yeah, it's like it's a lack. I have a lack of confidence in
confidence,
some guys,
100%.
and then there's nothing to do. There's nothing wrong, but we're in a win-loss industry at the moment. Like we're in a terrible position, and we've got to play guys we know that can get the job done. And it's not safe. Well, it's safe. It is playing. Dropping guys
to
like
play
that.
him or drop him.
No, to drop him. Okay. Oh no, yeah, safe to drop him.
Yeah.
And we have to. I think we're at a stage where we have to, and we've got to back in these guys who are coming in to do the job. And I think you're perfect spot on with the Fantasia. He can kind of play that high half forward cottage role, which they kind of had him playing last year when he played. So, and then you can kind of keep Williams closer to goal. Exactly what you said. So, yeah, I'd have Orazio win. It's just a matter of I don't know who I'd drop.
Yeah.
Out of the team.
Yeah. And like the way that I look at it is I want Jesse to go into the VFL and do exactly what he did when he was playing in 2023.
Yeah.
Playing in the forward line. I don't want him in the midfield. I don't want him up high. I don't want him high up the ground. I'm over that. We don't need him in the middle and we don't need him high up the ground. Like we could kind of compare him to Bobby Hill, but unfortunately he just doesn't, he's not Bobby Hill.
He's not quick enough.
He's not quick enough. So, and Motlop, and he doesn't have the aerial ability like Bobby Hill. So I don't think he needs to be so high up the ground. So he can just stay in the forward line and just be the crummer. And that's when I'm looking at the side. And I think Eraso Fantasia is coming in purely to cover Motlop. Or,
Yes.
I mean, not cover, but just kind of
Yeah.
replace Motlop. But I don't want him high up the ground.
You don't want him.
No, I want
You want him
him.
deep.
I want him deep because he is a goal scorer.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think I'm just looking at it as, and we now realize how important Cottrell is.
Yeah.
Just keeping this side like sustainable for when Cottrell comes in, he has his exact role that we want him to play. And I think like you can have Fantasia up the ground if you want,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
want Will White up the ground. I like Will
Yeah.
White on the
Yeah.
wing.
Yeah.
So I think White can be that player who comes up the ground, and I don't think he is as great like on the like actually impacting the scoreboard as what Fantasia can be. So I think Will White can be that winger, that high half forward.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then have Fantasia, Durden, and probably Fogarty as well, deep. Williams as well,
Yeah.
deep. Mackay, deep. Like if Charlie wants to go up the ground, Mackay, stay deep.
Yeah. 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 But
Yes.
even if they, the good thing is with that forward line is, and I saw it when we were playing well last year. A lot of the times we did have Harry and Charlie out of the 50, and they were on either wing, pushing high up the ground, feeding the ball in.
Yep.
And it's so much easier to create space when you have smalls because it's unpredictable. They don't know who we're going to. You know, like you pick you pick all those forwards and you go, I have no idea who's going to kick to. No idea. No idea. It's not like, okay, it's Charlie. He will kick it to that direction, which is predictable for the defense. So, no, I love it. I love the thinking. And like I said, with the whole Flynn, what's his name? Flynn Young.
Yeah, Flynn Young.
We just have lack of goal scoring forwards. So with Williams and Fantasia in the team, I think they can add to that, hopefully. And if they don't, then we're in a bit of a predicament.
Yeah. And the way that I view Flynn Young and like it's great that we have Will White there as well.
Yeah.
But the way that I view Flynn Young is, as you said, I think he can impact the scoreboard more. And I think looking at this lineup, Will White is the guy that can be. I think it's a good thing if White gets dropped because it shows that we have players that can come in and play a role. And I think Flynn Young can come in
and play wing, play high half forward.
The exact role that White is playing right now. And White is still impacting on the scoreboard. But I still think Flynn Young can come in and play that role, the exact same role that White is playing, and be more of a scoreboard threat. And that's no disrespect on White. Like he's still playing well and true. Like he's still impacting the scoreboard. If we can see Flynn Young in this forward line, and that's not even including Jesse now. Like Jesse Motlop is kind of out of this equation
at the moment.
At the moment with the way that we're looking, but I think like White needs to stay in. So if we have the capability to drop Motlop, I think that's a great thing. Of course, we want him to get right. If he can dominate in the VFL, get some confidence. It's the confidence for him. So I'm looking at this forward line, at this structure now, and I'm quite satisfied. But my sub, Chincotta.
Oh, yep. Like it.
So
played a few roles.
Yeah. So I'm more looking at it, and I want him to play that lockdown defensive role. Okay. So whether he needs to come in to tag Merritt or whether it's purely to play in the back line to play on a lockdown defending role. That's how I view Chincotta in this side.
Yep.
You know, I think there is an opportunity for him because I don't think Holland's spot in the back line is safe.
No.
I really don't. So I think he could be one of those guys that might need to make way to free up Sardi. And we've got Nick Newman coming back in the second half of the year. So that news as well, like there's a bit of positivity now with
it is.
Newman looking a little bit better. Chincotta, a few games in the VFL, and he can now come in. And I think he's personally the perfect sub because he can be a tagger, he can play the midfield, he can play forward, he can play in the back line as well.
Yeah.
So out of those changes, Daffy Boy, including the sub, what are your thoughts? And I'll throw to you. Do you want to make a change with Fantasia? And if so, who do you think you would drop? I'm not saying you need to drop him, but who's one guy looking at the lineup that you potentially would drop if Fantasia was to come in?
It's tough because I look at it, the only way I can do it is if I put Chincotta as the sub. Mm-hmm. But then I kind of want him in the team because I think Sard's impact has been minimal with ball in hand. So and McGovern too. So it frees up those guys. I want them a bit higher up the ground. I want Sard to pick up some shit forward.
Yeah.
Just pick who cares who it is. Just someone, doesn't matter if it's a
Archie
an
Day
18-year-old.
Wicks.
Yeah, no, but exactly. Just play off him. And of course you've got to respect him. Archie Tay Wicks. It's just a funny name. But yeah, it's tough. Really, really tough. Hmm. I want him in, but I don't know who to drop.
Yeah.
Has Durden's form been good enough?
It's
Probably
definitely a
not.
valid question.
Probably not.
Probably not. I like the way that I see it is I want Durden in there
The pressure.
alongside Fantasia.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. I think there is a team where we can have Fogg, Durden, and Motlop, but I don't think we can have all four
No. Nah.
with Fantasia coming in. So I just think that now there's a bit of pressure and it's good because we want this. But
Yep.
Fantasia might not be like by all we
Yeah.
know, he might be injured in a few days.
Yeah.
So he might not be
Based on-
available.
Yeah. No, I'd love him in. I just don't know how to work it out right now.
Yeah.
I don't know who to drop, but yeah, I'm in support of him playing. Like he just completely like flown through my brain and out the other end. Just because he's just been out. And the positive thing with him is that he had a full preseason. He only got injured a week before, which would have been frustrating, absolutely frustrating for him.
Yeah.
So I honestly think, I think he's talented enough, Fantasia, but I think the pressure's on for him. I think it's his last chance.
Yeah.
Just body wise. If he can't get his body right, it'll be the Jack Martin situation. And I hate to be brutal, but he'll be gone.
Oh,
He'll be gone to the end of the year if he doesn't impact in the back end.
Yeah. And then that's why I wanted to have that opportunity because I think
100%.
we saw it in the preseason games. Like I think he's that small forward that we've been asking for. He's that small forward that we want. And we just haven't, I mean, it's because he hasn't been available to actually play.
Yeah.
But also, I just think if he's available, I almost have to have him in the side. I really do. So I'm excited. Hopefully he does get himself right for selection. Hopefully he is selected. And hopefully when he is in the senior side, he makes an impact and he stays in the side. But Daffy boy, let's now move on to the opposition watch. So for the viewers who don't know what we do for the opposition watch, we go through the back line, midfield, and forward line for the Essendon Football Club, and we touch on one player from each line and kind of explain why and kind of share our thoughts as to why they could be a bit of a threat come this Sunday night. Daffy boy, King's birthday eve. I'll throw straight to you, as we always do. We always start with the back line first for the Dons. What type of player are you looking at the moment? They as we mentioned, there are a lot of injuries at the moment. We might even see Archie Roberts, mate, on Harry Mackay. The way that they're looking at the moment.
If that happens, I'll be playing for Carlton next week. That's the chances of that happening, Patto.
I mean, I'll throw straight to you. Your backline opposition watch. I'm just looking at that lineup now against the Lions last week. Fuck,
how do they even get close?
Cannot believe it.
I seriously, I applaud them for that. Absolutely. They gave them a fright. They hit the front in the last quarter. Exactly right. So it wasn't like they, it was close, 3 goals all game. They hit the front. So speaking about Archie Roberts, he is my backline opposition watch. He had about 40 against the Tigers. But for me, I think the way you can minimise guys like him and McGrath and Redmond's impact is forcing him to defend. Forcing him to go defence first, because I feel like in that Richmond game, like he had 38, but like 25 of them were piss easy touches. Like, and then that's not no issue. That's what we want for Saad. We want him to have the piss easy touches. But with those ins we've got, I think we can stretch them out a little bit. They're smaller defenders as well, because they're going to be having their work cut out with our talls. But let's make the work cut out for the smalls too. I don't want to have any impact going out of the defensive 50 for them. So I think a watch for them is him. I think he was like pick 54 or something.
Yeah, it was late.
He's been a pretty good get for them. And I feel like the role he plays in probably suits his playing style a little bit easier. Not easy. I'm not saying AFL football is easy to get 35 touches, but it's one of those positions where more times than not, he's probably going to have 25 plus. So, yeah, he's a watch for me. Don't have to play a defensive role on him, but if he's playing on a Fogarty, or if he's playing on someone, force him deep, kick some goals on him, then he'll be thinking, oh, fuck, maybe I need to start, playing a little bit more defensive rather than getting my own ball.
Mm. Yeah, I do like Archie Roberts as a player. I think he's obviously had that opportunity with
Mm.
Dyson Heppel retiring, and he's obviously taken that number as well off Heppel, the number 21 for the Dons. So I think he is definitely a big watch. But if that's the threat in that backline, no disrespect,
Yeah.
he's a good player. I wouldn't say he's fantastic. He's a good player, but that is something that if he's the only threat,
Yeah.
realistically, it's all due respect. Well, not really all due respect because I hate the fucking Essendon Football
Yeah,
Club.
no, I have no respect.
No, yeah, no, yeah. I would just say no respect. Your backline shit, mate.
I can't wait for us to kick 8-15. But
Fuck
yeah, like
me.
they've got, not he's probably not the best player in there. I guess they got Redmond. I
McGrath.
think so. Oh, I think, yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything else on that, but I think those two are very, 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 very overrated. Oh, I think Redmond could be
Yeah,
the most overrated halfback in the competition. He kicks a couple. Yeah, that's the only reason why he's rated, because he kicks one goal every 3 weeks and he does that celebration and it goes all over social media and everyone goes, "Fuck this guy! Oh my god!" But they can play good games, and we've let them do that, especially in 23. We let them do that. So let's not, because with their outs, if you can force them not to have easy entries, they
mm,
do not have the talent to kick tough goals.
yeah,
Where we do. The issue is we kick too many tough goals. But, like Charlie, if there's a scrappy kick inside 50, he's the type of guy to pick it up one hand, snap it from the boundary. Can Peter Wright do that? Nate Caddy can do that.
yeah. Of
But they
course.
would, to win the game, Essendon will need to have good entries and good vision, and you know what I mean. But if we don't allow that, we don't allow Roberts, McGrath, Redmond, Pryor to have those opportunities, then it's going to be tough to kick a winning score.
Yeah. No, completely agree, Daffy boy. My backline opposition watch. We love a loophole here on Baggers Chat.
Oh,
We
we
love a
know.
loophole. Who do you reckon? Who do you reckon I'll say?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
I'm
I
trying to
want to see
think.
if you'll know the guy that I'm going to
So
say.
does he play defense at points?
He is the guy that literally he's like a Jeremy Cameron. He can play wherever he wants, and he dominated
Oh, I
against
know. I know.
who?
Nick Martin.
Yeah. So Nick Martin is my opposition watch. He's played in the forward line for half the year, but he has been transitioned back. So something that I saw very interesting
Mm.
against the Lions was they had Zach Merritt and Nick Martin playing in the back line. I literally worked on the game
Yeah.
and I saw it that very, very interesting. But to be fair, they had
Yeah, it
Sam
worked.
Durham. Sorry?
It worked
Yeah,
for a lot of the game, to be honest.
yeah.
I'll give him that.
Yeah, and I think it was good that they gave an opportunity to shout out to Will Setterfield,
Yeah,
the
well,
former former.
he's
He's been
been
solid,
solid. I'll give him that.
100%. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I think it's given the opportunity to Will Setterfield, and
Mm.
Brad Scott's probably looked at it and be like, "Well, we can send you guys back because we got probably more than serviceable players
Oh, yeah,
like Will
yeah, yeah.
Setterfield, Jai Caldwell as well, Sam
Mm.
Durham. So these guys can roll through. Well, not really roll through them. It all kind of be a genuine midfielder and really impact the
Yep.
game. And also Ben Hobbs played a good season a few years ago, and he's kind of gotten his body right this year. I don't think he's any world better, Daffy boy. All due respect to him, but all due respect to you, Hobbsy. But I don't think he's a world beater. But
Hobbsy.
what?
Hobbsy.
Hobbsy. Can't Hobbsy. Turn it up, Hobbsy. Yeah, so
Oh,
my backline
jeez.
obviously should watch. I actually want to check how many touches he got.
He's an
Last
interesting
game.
one, Nick Martin.
Yeah.
I just can't get a gauge on him. Like he
Really?
has
See,
these-
I reckon he's a gun.
Yeah, I think he is. But I just
Is he a threat?
depends where he plays.
Okay. Where do you
If he's
think?
having 50 in defense, I don't find him a threat.
So where do you think? Or if you come this Sunday,
Yep.
if you see him in a position, what do you think is like your mind straight away goes, fuck. If he's there, that's a threat.
I think he's
Forward
going to go
line?
forward.
Yeah.
I think he has to roll through the mids because of our depth in there. But if he's in defense, I just think it takes away one of their weapons. And with men, if I was Brad Scott, I'd be thinking we don't have some of our weapons playing in terms of the injuries. So you kind of got to have him as that forward, especially with Langford out. Like if Langford wasn't playing, then you can roll Martin wherever you want to. But with no Langford, you've almost got to play him as that. I know Nate Caddy's down; he's the second tall, but in terms of impact, Martin's probably the most impactful player in there.
Yeah, I think Archie Perkins has played a little bit more taller as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't rate Archie Perkins at all.
No,
I still
no,
think he's
he's
one of those
flat.
guys
Well,
that's very.
his
Dude,
first couple of years were great, and then he kind of just flatlined it a bit.
but like, I don't think they were even great. Like they were good. They weren't. I don't think he was. I mean, all due respect to Hobbsy and Perko as well.
Can't wait for Hobbsy and Perko to have 30 both touches with 30.
Oh boy.
I can't even speak English.
I don't even want to even imagine it because I'm saying it right now. I did the exact same thing against Richmond, shitting half their team, and they went out and win. So it went out and got the win. So I just don't want. I want to be very careful with my words. But Perkins has been solid, but all due respect, I don't think he's going to be that guy that can take the game away from us. So, and I think they've opened up the avenue of Nick Martin playing because of the injuries. Nick Martin has been in the back line since those injuries, like the Ridleys, and even when I think his name was Lewis Hayes, number 18, when he came in and got subbed straight away with an injury, and now he's out for the season. So I think Nick Martin has to play in that back line because I don't think Zach Merritt's the answer in that back line. I think he should be in the Nick Martin role playing the forward line.
Well, yeah, I think what they did with Merritt is because they knew they did win the contest a fair bit, but I think they were kind of preparing to lose the centre bounce.
Yeah.
And have him be in defence, like have the ball coming out.
Yeah.
So find it like score off turnover, rather score off contest and clearance, which I kind of understand. But yeah, like, if Merritt plays in defence on the weekend, it'd be a very interesting call. But like you said, they've got guys in there who played really well. And we will touch on that in the midfield.
Yeah, exactly right, Daft Boy. But just a quick one on Nick Martin. He had 29 touches with 2 goals as well against the Lions. So I think he was rated probably one of the highest players on the ground, if not maybe McCluggage, because I think he played a really good game. Hugh McCluggage to get the job done for the Lions. But yeah, I'll throw straight to you, Daffy Boy, for the midfield opposition watch. There are a few names now to mention because now they have a few midfielders rolling through there, but they also do have some mainstay midfielders as well, with Will Setterfield really growing ever since his move to the Dons. But I'll throw straight to you, mate. Midfield opposition watch. Who have you got?
Yeah, I thought their midfield were very good on last Thursday. I thought they were very, very, very solid. And one man in particular, which he was off the ground for 10 minutes of the last quarter, and it cost them the game, in my opinion. They had all the momentum. He was their best player by a mile. He had 18 touches in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Caldwell, and they couldn't get it. Can I just touch something on that point? You know when players can't get on, the ball's on the other side of the ground? Sorry. How does that happen? Surely one of the forwards goes, okay, Cripps has got to happen in the Collingwood game or Dogs game. No, Dogs game happened. We spoke about this in the review. And we go, what the fuck? We had Silvani, Walsh, and Cripps off the ground for 9 minutes of the last quarter. And how much did we lose by? 8 points. There's 8 vital minutes of them playing. And it happened for them with Jai Caldwell, who's my midfield watch. He had 18 or 16 or 18 touches in the third, 8 clearances to bring him, back in the game in terms of like back into a winning position. And they couldn't get him off. They couldn't get him on. Sorry. 9 minutes of game time. I just searched it up. There was an article about it. There was 9 minutes off the ground. You know what I think? I go, so if the ball's on the wing, right? You don't want to get rid of your defenders. Obviously, they've got to stay in. Wouldn't you just call out to one of the runner goes out and goes to I don't care who it is, honestly. One of the forwards goes, no, you're coming off.
Yeah. Literally the closest player.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if they're far. If they're not playing the game, I'd rather have one man down forward of the ball. And I just see with Carlton as well, in the whole league. And then the commentators talk about it, but they never talk about a solution for it. How is a player like that? Like he's just, it confuses me every time it happens. Not just Carlton, and it confused me that game as well. 9 minutes, they lose by 3 goals. And I know it was against Brisbane, and they probably thought, oh, they fell apart. But he was out of the midfield
Yeah.
for 9 minutes after a 17 disposal corner, Patto. Which was, and he's a guy to watch out for us. And if Chincotter's playing, you almost go to him or Merritt. And those guys can impact hard. I don't think you tag a Durham. Setterfield will probably put some work into Cripps, in my opinion. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting watch, that midfield battle, because I think they're pretty solid in there.
Mm.
Essendon.
Yeah. I think my opinion is it's kind of where the ruck battle, like the ruck battle kind of lays. And
Yes.
TDK's a perfect opportunity
That'll
for
hurt
him.
him. That'll hurt him, I think.
Yeah. And even as a second ruck, like they've usually had Peter Wright go through there as a second ruck. And I once again, no disrespect, but Goldstein against TDK and Mackay against Wright, like, come on.
Yeah. And also with Wright going out, as the second ruck, who's going to be their forward?
Nate Caddy.
But it's like, in terms of, really? He's obviously he was great and he's going to be a talent of the competition. I think he's going to be a future superstar.
Yeah, exactly right.
But he's a young guy. He's not going to have that game every week.
Mm.
So, and it goes back to the overall view of the game. We simply cannot afford to drop this game. If they drop this game, it would be an absolute embarrassment, and people can clip it. It would be an embarrassment. And I'm not saying it's out of the question, but if they lose this game, it is disgrace to our football club.
Without a doubt.
And you bringing that up is perfect with Goldstein, because he's actually been holding his own, but then it'll get to a point where he's got TDK, who's pretty much an extra midfielder. That's what separates the midfield battle for me.
Yeah, I think when Goldstein comes up against, he played against Darcy Fort last week. Like, Oscar McInerney didn't even play, so
yeah, true.
Goldstein's now coming up against TDK. And he's probably one of those ruckmen that I think he can hold his own against a Riley O'Brien or kind of a bullish ruckman, like a Kieran Briggs as well. Briggs as well. Yep. Like those guys, I think Goldstein can hold his own.
Yep.
But I think it's the guys like Tim English. Like, Tim English was running an absolute muck around Todd Goldstein a few weeks ago at Marvel Stadium. So that, to me, is you need to look at that game specifically as well. From a Tom DeConning point of view, I think you need to look at that.
Massive.
That is huge. So that is a watch for mine, obviously. But my midfield opposition watch, I think it's got to be Sam Durham. I think in that midfield, I love the way that he plays his football. You can easily say Zach Merritt, but we just don't know where he is going to play. But you know that Sam Durham is going to be in the middle. I know that he played forward a lot against the Brisbane Lions because he obviously was injured in that first quarter. So even having him have him sent forward, that's a threat as well. So I think he is well and truly that midfield opposition watch. Rolling through there are a few other names that we've obviously touched on with Jai Caldwell, which is one of those guys that I love to watch, to see him play, because I think he definitely is one of those midfielders that Essendon need, and they're definitely getting the most out of him. But David Boy, let's now move on to the forward line opposition watch. This is probably the line that is very... You don't know what they're going to do in that forward line. Like, you know that they've got Caddy and they've got Wright as that mainstay forward. You've got Kako as well, who I don't think has been really overly great this season. Like, I mean, he's in his first season, but I just still think there's a lot of hype around Kako. And I don't think, as a first-year player, I don't think... the conversation saying how great he is, he's obviously a great player.
Yeah, he will be, yeah.
He will be a great player, but for him not even to be in the conversation to get dropped, it probably also is down to because I haven't had a lot of players in there available as well as a small forward. But even looking as well, definitely Matty Guelphy as well, and our boy Archer Day Wicks as well, mate. So there are a few.
What a name!
What a name! But I'll throw it straight to you, mate. Your forward line opposition watch for the Donny Dons this Sunday, King's birthday eve, 7:20, 24,000 at the MCG.
24. Maybe for the round 24 clash against them, there might be 24,000. Seriously,
dead rubber.
Be under 50. But yeah, I thought Caddy was great last week. He's one to watch, but I think we can cover him. I think the Lions struggle with with those kind of not big forwards, but they kind of tall, leaner forwards. I feel like we can cover that. We've got a few guys who can do it, and make
Who
him
would you reckon
accountable.
goes to caddy?
Haynes or
I think Sauce.
yeah, Sauce. Just take him out of the game. Just completely take him out of the game. But for me, the watch for me, I have to go to the top. I think, and it's Peter Wright.
Yeah.
He's been hot and cold. I think this season. He was playing twos for the first half of the
Yeah.
season. Clearly wasn't, in the form he'd wanted to be in. But, when he's the guy down there and, he killed us before in 23. So if we let him off the leash, he's a good set shot. He doesn't need 1,000 goes at it. If he takes 5, 6 marks inside 50,
Yeah.
that's a bag. He doesn't miss many. So, Weeders goes to him. But also with the lack of threats down there, I want to see a lot of our defenders flying across. We've got Haynes, McGovern, and that doesn't even count out Sards, even the smalls flying across. So I want to see a bit more. I thought it lacked in the Giants game. It gave up so many easy goals, and that was off the back of our defense. Like, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Like, that was probably their worst performance as a collective, giving up easy goals. So fight. I know we didn't have Sauce, and he's one of those guys. Every single time it is down there, I think it's the last minute of the game, 1 point difference. I don't want to see any easy goals because that's the one way they'll get in the game. And when Bombers get a sniff, they got a sniff last week. They're one of those teams. Their supporters get into it. They're one of those clubs. They're a big club like Carlton. Once they get a few goals and they seem that we're vulnerable, when teams see us vulnerable, we get fucking punished. So Peter Wright, put some work into him and fight your ass off every single time the ball is in there.
Completely agree. You know what? I usually do go with a different name.
Yep.
He's by far the threat.
Yep.
In that forward line. Like,
mm-hmm.
I know Caddy's in there.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
He's
got to keep an eye on him, of course.
Of course. And he kicked probably the goal of the last year when he kicked over the. That was unbelievable, actually.
Yeah.
He
reminds me of Charlie.
Oh yeah, of course he does.
He's exactly the same. They've got that. I read somewhere today that if you trade Charlie Curnow away, he's one of those talents you see once every 50 years.
Yeah.
At your football club in particular. And I think he's one of those guys, Nate Caddy, which I hate Essendon, but I enjoy watching footballers like that.
Yeah, and I think Kako and Caddy will be those two guys for Essendon. I mean, I enjoy watching both of them play.
Yeah.
Because you kind of just expect something to happen.
Yeah. Even if they're struggling, there'll be a highlight play, and he kicked that goal, and then he missed that goal in the goal square. That's very Charlie.
Yeah,
when he was younger.
He was.
And he'd play on, and he still sometimes does it to our frustration. But you got to just take the good and you got to take the bad with those blokes because more times than not, they will deliver.
Yeah.
They will deliver. And remember there was times that we were going, fuck, Charlie, come on. When is the penny going to drop when he's playing? And then he had those common seasons and you go, oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. He's hit us straight back in the face going, I'm better than you probably thought I was. And Caddy's the exact same. He's going to have those performances. And I know we're not talking about Caddy, but he's just one of those guys you got to keep an eye on because if he kicks one early, he's one of those guys who can pull goals out of his ass.
Yeah. Exactly right, that boy. But also because they're both number 30 as well, I think that shows that that key forward, that modern day key forward, that's exactly what you kind of want in that. And I think Caddy and Wright work perfectly there because you can have that like the lockdown, not lockdown, but just that mainstay forward in Wright to take that big body defender, and Caddy will probably always take the second defender with Wright playing in that forward line because Wright's still pretty young. I thought I know that he played at the Suns, but how old is he? He's 28, so he's probably still got
prime.
Yeah. So I think it's good having those two key forwards down there with Caddy and Wright, and it's just now trying to get a few small forwards around there. And I think Kako can definitely be a threat. I know that Jade Gresham as well is in there as well in that forward line. But yeah, I completely agree with that, Si, from your end.
That's the thing about Essendon. You look and you go, a forward line with Peter Wright, Caddy, and Langford when he's fit. That should be
Yes.
half decent. I know they've won two more games than us, and there'll be Essendon supporters in our comments for some reason watching this video going, look at these arrogant, Carlton supporters, blah, blah, blah. But I'm more talking about from a perspective of an Essendon supporter. I know they're rebuilt. They are in a rebuild, and I don't know why people aren't accepting that. They're very young. They're one of the youngest listed, and they're expecting team like they're getting smashed, and then people go, oh, like what's going? I'm actually kind of expected that from them this year. But the frustrating part is, like, you got some decent players in there, and they just don't seem to gel enough. Like they played well against the Lions this week, but I hope they get smashed this week. That's kind of how their season's gone this year.
Yeah, I completely agree. But yeah, I think Peter Wright has to be the big threat down there in that forward line. But as I said, I think Caddy can be a guy who can be a threat. Also, I think actually Isaac Kako as well. I think
Yeah.
he's due. I think he started the season quite well. I wouldn't say
Yep.
great, but quite well. And I think he's been quiet the past few weeks. He was solid against the Lions,
Yeah,
but
yeah, he was good. He was good in that
yeah, he was
game.
solid,
Yeah.
solid. So yeah, I think Kako can definitely be a threat down there. And I think he likes playing in front of 24,000 at the MCG, definitely against the arch rivals. So that is the end of the opposition watch day for it, and it is now time
Oh, yeah.
for our highly anticipated match predictions, Dapper Boys. So for the people who don't know what we do for the match predictions, we go through bagger of the game, which is who we think, from a Carlton perspective, will be the best Carlton player on the ground. Point of difference, very self-explanatory. I don't need to explain that. Winner plus margin. Daffy boy. I don't know why this is probably the first time that I've had a bit of butterflies. And I've had it
Yeah.
this whole episode. I
Yeah.
am
Yeah.
just this is the game where I am
It's make or break.
extremely it's not even that though. It's actually the embarrassment of losing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm awfully nervous. I've been a little bit nervous speaking about this,
Yeah.
like this team, this episode, because I don't even want to imagine not winning this week against the Dogs. But
Uh,
I'll throw straight to you. Winner match predictions. What have you got, Daffy boy?
I try to keep it positive a lot of the time, and we've been negative. We've both been very negative in the reviews, as it should be.
100%.
As it should be. And I'm exactly the same. During this episode, I've got a little bit of something in my stomach that is butterflies. It's
Yeah.
like it's that feeling of oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
And like you said, I couldn't imagine it. I couldn't imagine us losing, but I can. But I'm very confident. So I'll go through these pretty quickly. Best on ground for the dark navy blues, who will be wearing the clean
Yeah.
blew out
Blew out.
Guernsey, which
Love
looks
it.
the merch looks good too. Looks clean, looks nice, looks smart. Don't have to change the jumper too much like the idiot other teams who put cartoon characters on their jumper. We've got the monogram. That is history, Patto. We don't put little colours and little fucking, drawings all over our jumper. It's just a straight monogram. We've just changed it just a little bit because it looks clean. Best on ground. Paddy Cripps,
Like
best
it.
on ground. He took a hanger last week, which didn't get its credit because we're shit. So best on ground, Cripper. The point of difference, we spoke about it with the midfield. This guy needs to break open the game. He broke open the game against them last year. It was one of his breakout games, if I can remember. He had that 3-week patch where he had the highest rated games of the season at that stage of the season. Tom
Yeah.
D. Koning. Tom De Koning, of course, the whole rhetoric around him staying or going. I would rather him stay. I'm sure we all want it
Oh, of
to stay.
course.
And there's going to be situations, we want the cap, we want the cap. There's no positives with him leaving,
Of course not.
in my opinion. I think he's too good. But, like we said with the decisions, but he, against the old fella who's held his ground, but how many weeks has Goldstein got left? Has he got the petrol tickets to take on a guy who is going to jump on his head every single contest? And that's what I want to see. He struggled against the Giants, TDK. He struggled against Briggs. He couldn't get around him or he's trying to body him and play your natural game, mate. Play your natural game. Fly the ball. You know when he gets it out of the middle and he shoves it on his boot? That's the TD guy I know and love. He wills the ball forward.
Mm.
That's the special thing about him. That's what I love and that's what I want to see. And winner plus margin. And I said it in the review of the game that most games I won't be tipping us. But the next month, if we're being serious, we should be winning these games. And we're going to win this weekend. We're going to win this weekend. And they're undermanned. It'd be a disgrace if we lose. And, you know, if people give me shit in the review and we lose, oh, so be it. I'll die on this hill at Patto if we lose this. And these comments come back to hurt me. But I just don't see it happening. And I think we'll win this game by 43 points at the MCG. I just have a good feeling. I'm nervous too, because that's how it is as Carlton supporters. I can see it not happening, but it's like, okay, that week, a good team would have that bye and go, okay, regroup. If they can't figure out how to hit a target inside 50 by now, Patto,
After the
seriously,
bye.
you will see. You see this guy right here on your screen. He'll be on the ground. He'll be on the ground at the 3/4 time thing going, you see the sticks? We've got to put them through those fucking things. I'm sure that's what Simon Goodwin should have done to Melbourne on the weekend.
Oh, yeah, good point.
That's another story for another time. But 43 points. We will finally learn how to hit a target inside 50. I don't want to see all our players crowding inside the 50, the mids. Do not want to see it. Do not want to see when we win a free kick, everyone just in there. Give the guys space. Give the small space to do their magic. Do their magic. And I want to, we've said it the last few weeks. I know Charlie's had some solid games, but he had one touch in the second half last week. It's unacceptable. And that's due to him and the way we play. He needs to have a bag. He needs to kick a bag and go, okay, this is my second half of the season. No one is beating me. No one is beating me. And he should not be beaten by these guys in defence. It'll be a disgrace. So, Carl, my 43. I'll be there, Patto. You'll be there, Patto. And we're there for a mighty Carlton victory.
I've got to say, I actually don't know. I don't know if it was just the week off and we're trying to get the cobwebs off doing a podcast again.
Of course.
I don't think it is that at all, but I just have this feeling in my stomach hearing this game, Carlton versus Essendon.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I've just got a very, very bad feeling. and I don't know if it's because I have lost.
It's the trust. It's the trust.
Well, yeah, it's the trust, but I just think we're shit.
Yeah, it's such a tough pill to swallow. We don't want to swallow it. I think if we lose one of these games, if we lose any of the next three, that's when we go, okay, we've got to swallow the pill and go, we're shit.
Yeah. And, seriously, Essendon are 10th on the ladder. We're 13th.
Yeah.
And, yes, they've had a very favourable fixture, but I don't think our fixture's been overly hard.
Yeah.
Yes, it's been hard.
I think...
Oh, well, not even...
I think the whole story of I think our second half of the year is almost a little bit easier because our last three is easy and our next four is easy. I thought of course, Richmond. But round one, I think, separates as a different fixture. I don't think it's a normal game. It's just I feel like they're always up for it. And that's no excuse. We're terrible. Yeah. But I think with, you had Hawthorn, who were playing pretty well, Dogs,
Pies.
Collingwood. You know what I mean? We should be better. And I'm trying to find an excuse, but there's no excuse. But yeah, I get it. It's butterflies. It's we're almost accepting our fate this weekend. That this could go so badly. So badly.
Yeah. And then even after that, we've got we had West Coast again, North Melbourne, and then we obviously had Adelaide. So if we had the second easiest fixture in the second half of the year, you would hope that the first half of the season was somewhat hard. So I don't think it was hard. No. We should have done so much fucking better. Course. That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't like this feeling. I really don't.
I'm the same. It's like that, but I'm like, even though I'm confident on the outside,
I don't
on the
usually.
inside, I'll be sitting there at the game going,
Oh,
"Oh no."
oh no, yeah. So I'll get to my
I'm looking forward to these.
match predictions, Dave boy. Uh, Bagger of the game. I have gone without a doubt Tom DeConning.
Yep.
Bagger of the game. He is due.
Yeah,
He's coming off an injury. Maybe that's why he was a bit off against the Giants, coming back from an injury. But he only missed a week. Like, come on. Like, you need to be better than that, TDK. So go out. If you're playing against Todd Goldstein, and everyone will accept us saying no due respect to Todd Goldstein, but you should be able to go out there and dominate. So, and he probably would accept that. Like, he's probably so proud of himself, and credit to him. Like he's a champion of the game. And he's still, like, he's 37 years of age, and he's still going out trying his best every single week. So it's credit to him. But Tom DeConning, you are now at a point in time where there is a lot of pressure on you to perform because there's a club who is offering you 1.7 million a year. I don't care about that shit. No. Go out, show what you are worth, and I want you to be the bagger of the game. Not even the bagger of the game. Get the 3 Brownlow votes. Walk out of there with an absolute thumping win over the Dons. Point of difference, Orazio Fantasia.
Like it.
Playing against the Dons, former side, MCG, 23,900 at the MCG, Duffy boy. Go out there, dominate. I don't care if he doesn't impact. Well, I would care if he doesn't impact the scoreboard, but make an impact your own way. I don't care what role he plays, but he needs to be in this side and he needs to make an impact and he needs to be the point of difference in that forward line. So whether it's high up the ground and being that Matt Cottrell player until Cotters comes back, or if it's him playing deep and impacting the scoreboard, he needs to be that player. So point of difference, Arajo Fantasia. Winner plus margin, Daffy boy. Now, I've lost complete trust. I know you're the exact same. Yes. I have lost complete trust with this football club and I'm fucking over it. I don't want to head into another game with any expectations until they show you, and to show every single Carlton supporter that you can actually go out there and show us that you are still well and truly on the right track to win a premiership. They said that they want to win a premiership by 2027. That's the aim. Show us that you can go out and win the game.
Yep.
However, winner plus margin, Dons by 1 point.
Oh, no.
I am not accepting a Carlton win until they go out there and win the game. So obviously...
Yeah, of course you think we should.
I am not putting Dons by 1 point in any other sports bet on my tipping, whatever.
It's more of a statement.
Yeah, I'm not putting the Dons by 1 point. But here, I am not tipping us. Not a chance am I tipping us.
Yep.
It is not good enough. Yep. But if they go out and win the game in a fashion that we haven't seen before this year, I might tip us against the Eagles. That's a danger game. I might tip us against the Kangas the week after. Sure. Port week after that. Sure.
Yep.
But this game is massive. It's actually massive. This is probably...
Mentally, I think.
Yeah.
I think if they win this, it's like, okay. If they lose this, and it's like, we're fucked.
Yeah. This, in my point of view, is, as a Carlton supporter, this is probably the biggest moment supporting this club, because if we can't go out and win this game with the amount of injuries, and we've done it before. We've done it before supporting this club, and we've seen so many us times. We saw it against Sydney. They literally had 2 players play well. Giants as well. Toby Green was dominating in the midfield, and he hasn't even played midfield since his bloody draft years, and he goes down and get 28 and 3 goals. Just brilliant Carlton fashion. So, yeah, winner plus margin, Dons by 1, but I don't think I would...
Yeah.
What would happen if we lose by 1 point against the Dons, Staffy boy?
Oh, God.
What would you do? Would you actually, I actually don't know what I would do.
Nah, I'd be pretty... I think we're past the stage of emotion. I think, like, of course you have emotion, but I mean, like I've gone out of games this season just feeling just empty,
Yeah.
the most empty I've ever felt because we've reached the, not we haven't reached the premiership, which is hard, but we've reached the highs of a prelim now. We've had a taste of it. Now the losses feel worse
Yes.
because we were so used to losing every week before we started getting good. Like even 2021, it was shit, but it was like, okay, like we're used to being shit. We haven't had the good taste of winning yet. I couldn't imagine what Richmond fans feel like. They've won the three flags, and I know that they'll be going, "Oh, I love the young guys," but inside they'd be going, "Oh, like losing these games hurt." Like even the game on the weekend,
Yeah.
that would have hurt.
Of course.
Because back in the heyday, they would have just won those games easy.
Yep.
Next game of the G, win that. Whereas we've kind of had that small taste, but we haven't had the big piece of the pie yet, Pato, which is what we're crying out for. And I don't think we'll get it this year, but I want to see some sort of turnaround, like you said. It's a mental test, I think, for the players the second half of the year. Let's see if they really give a fuck. I know they
Mm,
give a fuck, but I want to see if they really want to salvage this season.
yeah. And they're returning off their holidays over the bye.
Yeah,
They
which is
had their
fine.
time off, which is awesome. They
Yeah,
they probably
awesome.
needed the time off as much as we did.
Absolutely, dude.
So that's fine. You can go
Yep.
on and have your holidays. That's fine. But now that you're back in the club and training
Mm,
and you are focusing on this week against the Dons, go out, not even get the job done,
yep.
make a fucking
Mm,
statement, Carlton. I'm
yeah.
not accepting. I'm not
No.
accepting a 1 point win.
No.
Wow. At this point in time, I
We'll
probably would.
take it. Of course, we'll take a
Yeah.
win. But it's you. I want to see a brand of footy,
Yeah.
4 quarters, even if the game's not on our terms at some stage,
That we can be
to
proud of.
get it back on our terms, like the Geelong game. I left that state. I've met, when you have that, you're walking around, you have that extra pep in your step, and you go, that was fucking good. I am proud to be a Carlton supporter. That was the only day this season I felt that. And it was a great game, and it was an outlier, and we haven't played the way we've wanted to. But a day like that, I want to see more days like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. We aren't a perfect team. No team is perfect. But I want to walk out of the stadium on Sunday going, okay, West Coast and North should be runovers. We should be going, okay, bang, bang with the brand. We shouldn't be beaten by the brand we play, but we haven't shown it. We haven't
Yep.
shown it. So those are my final words, Pato. Fucking hell. If like you said, I don't know what will happen if we lose. We could get our biggest views on a review. Yeah, we could get 100,000 views, I reckon, on Baggers Chat if we lose. There'll be all sorts of supporters heading to our channel. So get it done, boys.
Yep. Well, you said it perfectly, Jeff Boy. That's a brilliant way to wrap up the episode. But as we've said a few times throughout this year, even if we don't get the job done, and even if we don't get the win, we still
Yep.
have a great amount of engagement, whether it's on the socials or on the episodes as well. So we definitely do appreciate that. I I know that we've kind of grown this from 2021 Daffy Boy, and now seeing not, I mean, some sort of reward, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
we would do this even if we had
Of course.
3 views every episode, because I think it's more importantly we want to come on here and just speak our thoughts, and kind of it is a bit of therapy,
Mm.
kind of supporting this club, so it definitely is a good way to come on, but we definitely do appreciate the support that we get on every single episode, and also every post on the socials. But to every single blue bagger out there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. If you do also want to listen to our audio version, we do have a few podcast platforms, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. So please listen to those audio versions. And if you do enjoy the episodes, please give a 5-star rating on those podcast platforms. It really does help us grow the channel. And as we've said, make sure to check out our socials. We are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn as well, X as well. There's a few others out there. Tappy Boy. But to you, Daffy boy, get the job done, Carlton. Seriously. And I will actually very quickly say, Elite 11 brought out,
Yeah, it looks clean.
mate, this jumper. I will definitely be wearing this Sunday.
If Elite 11 want to hook us up with a sponsorship, if you're listening, we are looking for sponsors. So Elite 11 Baggers Chat collab.
Oh, dare I say that for you? 2026, that might definitely be on the cards. But yeah, shout out to Elite 11. I love the collaboration. So shout out to you guys. But to you, Daffy boy.
Yep.
Have a great week.
You too, mate.
Sunday night, get the job done. And to every single blue bagger out there.
The baggers.